Hey y'all, welcome back to the third week of our compensation range discussion here on AMA Friday with Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. Okay, so third video. I decided to just get them all done same day. Having a pretty good hair day, so why not? Okay, so I want to dig in and we'll kind of wrap up our little mini series with this, but I want to talk about offers and what it takes, particularly at the higher end of the range. I think a lot of people, they'll see the compensation range and they're like, I'm great. I'm a rock star. I'm the best person that ever walked the earth to do this job. I should totally get to top of the range. You sure about that? You sure about that? Let's discuss. So you might recognize this from last week's video. We kind of walked through, we talked about the range, we talked about the scope of the work, the roles, the levels, the role level, location, job family. Yeah, job family comes before role and level, but anyway, so we kind of covered all that. So please go watch the first two videos from the last 2 weeks. If you have not, it'll bring some context here to what we're going to talk about today. But basically we started talking about offers and where, how do we determine, how does a recruiter, let me tell you something. In my experience, at most of the places I've worked, Google was funky, but most of the places I've worked, recruiters will recommend an offer. So recruiters going to look at all those data points, right? We're going to look at comp expectations. We're going to look at competing offers. We're going to look at labor market insights. We're going to pull different reports. We're going to talk to our peers. We're going to talk to candidates. We're going to gather so much information in addition to what our company is looking to pay, plus your interview feedback, plus any internal equity if you're joining a good sized team. We want to look at all those things and we're going to recommend an offer. And that offer recommendation might be 240. And it may go through layers of approval and it may get approved. It may be, no, we're only going to do 230. That happens a lot. What I want to pay is not always what gets approved. Now, I will also tell you this is the benefit of being a trusted advisor. I usually get more than I ask for. Because I ask for more to begin with. I'm like, yeah, maybe we could do like 280. And they'll be like, how about 275? And I'm like, okay. I use my powers for good, okay? I'll just leave it at that. But no, in all seriousness, I have, I think, built a reputation with my teams that I am fair. I am fair. I want what's best for my candidates. I want what's right for the business. I understand how these things work. So I'm going to really try to find that magic number that makes everyone happy. I can't go all in all the time and like, everybody's getting 300,000. That's ridiculous. But I can look at all the factors we talked about and do my absolute best to do the right thing for my candidates first and foremost. And then yes, absolutely, my employer, my team. I have a fiscal responsibility there as well. We just do. And again, all of this is assuming that this range makes sense in the first place, right? That we've done broadly, comp or our third-party analysts that we've hired, whatever, have done the right analysis to make sure that we are in the right pay range for the market and for the cost of labor in a given location. So, okay, we're running on a lot of assumptions here, and I understand that, but just trying to make it as clear as I can without further confusing people. Let's talk about this section. I've made a handful of offers in my career where people are absolutely topped out. True story. It's rare. I could use a couple hands to count them, I'm sure, maybe a foot, but it's rare. Here's what it takes You are at the top of your game professionally. You have significant experience. You come in with knowledge and background, perhaps an educational background, perhaps years of experience, perhaps verifiable, scaled, things that you've shipped, created, built, whatever. And when we look at all of that data and all of that stuff that you're bringing and all of that information we've learned through the interview, we have recognized that you are the absolute top of that career stage profile, right? Remember our career stage profile where we've defined like this is what an L5 SWE looks like and how they're going to deliver and what their expectations are and how we'll measure them during performance reviews. Remember we talked about that? You, my friend, are at the very tippy top of what we would consider perfect for that. So we're going to make you, I erased it, but let me put it back. We're going to make you on that scale of 2 to 300. We're going to make you a $295K offer. Okay, so you're coming in right there. Good job, you. Now, what do you think happens a year later in your first performance review? Let's say the range hasn't changed, and sometimes it will. Sometimes you'll see little incremental, adjustments every year. Some companies I mentioned in previous videos maybe do this every couple of years. Just depends. But let's say the ranges hasn't changed. It's a little stagnant right now in the market. You have a performance review. You kicked so much ass. Here's a $5,000 raise. You're at $295, remember? Max is $3. How do I, as your boss, give you a raise? I can't. Company policy. In most cases, I can't speak for every single organization, but certainly the ones that I have some familiarity with, my understanding from my HR and comp colleagues, nobody goes above that. Yikes. So here's the things that I want to understand. This is my L5, right? What about my L6 band? Ooh, now we're on to something. So let's say my L6 band is, oh gosh, that's a big band. I'm not even going to try to do the midpoint math. My head will hurt. Let's say my L6 band is 275 to 400. Okay, and then the midpoint is what it is, and I've had all the same conversations when I'm hiring L6 folks, etc. My person I brought in at 295, who is stellar, kicking ass, top of the range, I'm not going to give them a regular performance review. I'm going to promote them. So now 295, maybe they get a nice little bump to, 310. They're well in range for their new level. And they're performing at that new level. They have plenty of room to grow because you're probably going to be at this level for years. Some of us are. And so you have this runway. So that compensation review once a year, that, when we're figuring out rewards, leadership, HR, the folks that get to do those things, when they're figuring out rewards, they're taking all that into consideration. So back to how do I get this offer to begin with? This is my external candidate who's coming in hot, right? That plan needs to be in place. And I need to understand, the hiring manager needs to actually put pen to paper and create this plan that, hey, I believe this person's operating at this level. I think they're absolutely fantastic. I don't have enough data, the right data. I can't justify bringing them in at the L6 band already, for whatever reason. We'll often have that conversation, right? Well, do we think this person's ready for the next level up? No, because of these reasons. Okay, fine. We're going to shoot high in the band. Also, sidebar, I've had people interview at this level, get down leveled to this level. That's another argument for going exceptionally high in band. We know this person's not coming for less than 300K. 300K is my absolute max. I got to make it happen or they're not coming. And also, here's that ramp plan. Here's how we're going to get the person to the right level, hopefully soon, whether it's 6 months or a year or, I don't know what does soon look like, right? Hopefully before the next performance review, that's for sure. We're going to have all kinds of trouble. So that's something I'm going to drive with the hiring manager. Hey, we need a plan and we need to document this and we need to make it clear why we're making this decision and what we are going to do to get the person to the next level. And you know who sees that? All the extra people that have to approve this offer. So most of the roles I filled in my career, thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of offers I've made in my career, have had some kind of an approval chain. There's been somebody that has to approve it. The more aggressive you get in a band, the higher the pay rate you want to go to, the more complex the offer is, the more approvals that are required. And if I'm sending this to a couple of VPs that are 5 layers above the hire I'm making, you best believe I've got a damn good argument for doing what we would consider an exceptional offer. We can't just, in either direction, we can't just pull numbers out and, well, I've decided, I like that person. We went to the same college. They're getting top of the band. Oh, well, that person, doesn't even have a degree. They're getting the bottom of the band. No. Maybe this exists in some companies. Now where I'm working, I'll promise you that. I'm not putting up with that shit. But I am going to thoroughly document and slice and dice the feedback and discuss with the hiring team and discuss with my boss if I need to, or my comp analyst or my HR partner. I'm going to talk to all these folks. And we're going to make sure that we are able to justify whatever offer it is that we're trying to make. And so that, my friends, is very critical, especially at the higher end, because of the approvals and the required data and all the stuff that goes into that. So again, if you are coming in at the top of the band, that is signaling to me that you are an absolute superstar, you are potentially ready for the next level, and that the hiring manager has a clear ramp plan to make sure that you are taken care of year over year, whether that's promo, moving to a new band, doing whatever we can to make sure that your growth is not limited over time. We're not hiring you just to come in and do something for 6 months. If we were, we'd be hiring a contractor. We're hiring you to be part of this team, hopefully long term, few years at least. And we want to make sure that you have that room to grow, both professionally, like learn new skills, take on bigger projects, do all that fun stuff. Also financially, I like getting raises. My boss likes giving raises, I'm sure, right? Why wouldn't she? So we want to create the right model and leverage our bands appropriately so that we're able to do just that. Okay? I've said a lot of words in the last 3 weeks. Like, it's been a lot. But hopefully this helps. My best advice for you, y'all, I wouldn't even, if I'm negotiating my own compensation, I don't really care so much about this stuff. I don't need to know the ins and outs of the band. I want to make sure that whatever my offer is, if it is that 310, right? I want to make sure, okay, does that work for me? Does that fit what I know to be true about myself, my skills, my earning power? That I want to make sure I'm fairly compensated. So I'm going to do my own research, talk to my friends, levels.fyi, all the things. And I might, just sanity check, like, this provides some room for growth, right? Like, I'm not going to get topped out and be pissed off next year. Probably only recruiters ask that question because we know. But that's something that's going to matter to me, right? So anyway, grain of salt, just like last week, grain of salt. It's just one person's perspective from the seat of both a recruiter making offers and an occasional job seeker. I'm an employee just like many of you, so I have to go through this as a candidate from time to time as well. All right, y'all, I hope that demystifies this whole thing around comp ranges and hiring ranges and all that crazy stuff. As always, let me know if you have any questions, comments, or other feedback in the comments, and we'll see you next week.